Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mahwash Ajaz. You're watching me on my YouTube channel, listening to me on Spotify. I'm here with a very reluctant guest. She does not do interviews. She does not like talking about herself. And our personal conversations are far more interesting than what you're about to listen or watch. She's here under duress. Let me get that out of the way. One of my very, very, very good friends, one of my partners, my colleagues, Althea Delmas-Kaushal. Hi, Althea.
Hi, Mahwash. I said the thing is, it's not like I'm reluctant. Okay, I'm reluctant. That's not a lie. But she told me, come on a podcast. Now, from what I know, podcasts are audio.
As you can see that Althea is not fully integrated into 2024
so I
as
walked
yet.
in here and I saw a seating thing. I said, that's cute, really sweet. And then I saw lighting and I'm like, why is there lighting? So this is actually a cheat job.
Yeah, welcome to my podcast and 2024 Althea, where podcasts are also video.
Really?
Yes, yes. And it also tells me you haven't seen any of my previous podcasts.
No, I didn't know. I thought podcast.
Moving on. Okay, so before we get into another one of our things, Althea, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Althea. She's a Bollywood screenwriter, and I've had the privilege of working with her on a Pakistani film called Yaara Vey, and we've worked on 2-3 other projects, one of which is on the way, one of which is, got shelved because of the pandemic, but hopefully you guys will see it soon. Don't want to reveal too many details. But working with Althea has exposed me to how, apart from the celebrity culture I was exposed to in Bollywood when I was working for Masala, also how writing works in Bollywood. And one of my main topics about this podcast today, discussing with Althea, is going to be how Bollywood writing works. Althea has written multiple Bollywood films. Althea, please tell my audience, your audience, which is now also your audience, about your Bollywood trajectory, how you started, where you started from, how did you become a Bollywood film writer?
So pretty much like this podcast, the writing also was it was accidental. I was not a writer. I'm not a film buff. You can give me book references, film references. I just pretty much don't get. But we used to live in Singapore, and when we came back to Bombay, I have a friend of mine who works in cinema. The only friend at that point. She does costume design called Niharika Khan. And Niharika called me and said, come with me for my film's premiere. So I said, okay, for fun. And it was Dawn. It was Farhan's Dawn. I don't know what happened during that film, I swear to God. But just the fact that I was riveted by Shah Rukh. And the fact that I knew that he was sitting in that building with me because it was the premiere, somehow or the other spun my head. Anyway, film was over, we came out, and I was still spinning. I won't go into the big details. Bottom line is, I was standing within 1 foot of him, and I looked at him, and in my head, the thought in my head literally was this: one day you're going to know me. And that was the impetus. As bizarre as it sounds, that was the impetus. It took me 3 days later to come up with a story idea for a film. I wrote it like a mad person, did not know how to write a film. I'm talking Word document, which I thought was a film. Anyway, wrote it, then figured out how to get in touch with Excel, because according to me and my Bombay Times exposure, I'm saying, Shah Rukh had 2 friends. One was Karan Johar, the other one was Farhan Akhtar. This wasn't a Karan type film, so I called up Excel's desk line and asked for a meeting. Those days, you could get it, and I got it.
What year was this? Dawn wala time?
Yeah, just after Dawn. So anyway, got it, went in for a narration. 20 minutes into the narration, Farhan says, you speak really fast, I don't understand what you're saying, but whatever I'm hearing, I'm liking, let's do the film. That's how easy it was.
Amazing.
Shocking that today there won't be a chance like that. Anyway, then they discussed about how they were going to have to find a screenplay writer, which got me all like, I mean, what do you mean? I wrote this, it's written. And they all looked at me like I was some congenital idiot, right? And they were like, we'll show you a real screenplay. And they showed me Honeymoon Travels. I don't know if any of y'all have read a real screenplay or happen to get your hands on one. It is the most disconnected document in the world. I swear to God, I did not know what I was reading. I'm like, who writes crap like this? Then they went on Dil Dhadakne Do Ka, Recce, which they clubbed with a holiday, whatever. Anyway, they were gone for 2 months. I downloaded a free software called Celtex. Those days, I think it's still free. really easy software, and I taught myself how to write. And I wrote that film on that free software. And then from that point on till today, I'm unable to work in Word. It has to be in the screenplay format.
Yeah.
So that's how I started.
And then you wrote
Yeah.
3
Oh,
stories.
that film tanked, by the way.
A great climax to the story.
That film is... And at which one I never forget telling my husband, I said, you know what, I did it as a lark. And it didn't work. So leave it. I'll go back to being a housewife. He said, please don't, because that's the one thing you can't do. You're a terrible housewife.
But Althea, you did write Game. You wrote Noor.
I wrote Noor. I wrote Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
On Amazon, I've got Bestseller. On Z, I've got Mithya. I did Fitrat.
Huh.
I've done a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Quite
But
a bit
then
of
you
stuff.
also have advertising experience?
I have 3 stories, which
3
is my
stories.
favorite film. Advertising, I worked for the biggest and the best advertising production house in India. It was called White Light, really like a premier firm. I worked with non-fiction, like documentary style filmmaking. Worked on a couple of really great the documentaries on anthropological documentaries on the tribes of India. Then I worked with Disney.
Yes,
And
you
I
did.
was the national creative director for Disney when I was there. And then after that, we moved to Singapore. So that basically was the direction.
And you have 2 daughters.
I have 2 girls.
And you've been in Dubai for how long?
Now, 12 years, I think. 12.
Yeah.
12.
12 years.
Sounds about right.
And now your kids are almost off to college. One is off
No, the older one is already finished her second year in uni. She's doing criminology.
to... Okay. Have you anything to do with that?
She's going to be a Pandu Havaldar.
No, but what about the younger one?
Younger
She's
one
also...
has just finished her GCSEs.
Yeah.
So this year, so we'll get the results, I guess.
And then when you've always told me about how there is a plan when your kids are off to college, and every parent
Yes,
has that plan.
yes.
Every parent has the plan that
Yes.
once my kids are done with,
Yes.
I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Is there a book you want to write? Is there a film? What you want to open a writer's retreat? What do you want to do once you have that
Once
freedom?
my younger one goes to uni, I don't want to stay in Dubai for the entire summer.
The summer is hard.
The entire 6 months, I want to go back home. And home for me is Bombay. But I have a very, very close friend of mine, Anvita. Together, we wanted to actually we're still on the plans to buy a little piece of land and build like a bed and breakfast kind of place, and like a writer's commune.
Yeah.
You just come in there and write, and that's the plan.
Yeah. Althea, when you wrote for Pakistan, you've written
Yeah.
for Bollywood,
Yeah.
and your Bollywood experience, by the time
Yeah.
you came, we worked on a project for
Yeah.
Pakistan. Your Bollywood experience was solidified. You were
Yeah,
a
yeah.
proper writer
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Bollywood. It was different for me because it was actually my first film.
Yeah.
And I remember that my draft had gone to Althea, and
Yeah.
Althea had made changes, and then we sat down together
Yeah.
for screenplay and dialogue. And Althea had done what she's now talking about. Like, it's interesting that you mentioned how you learned how to write
Yeah.
the screenplay, because
Yeah.
when I saw that document, even for me, it was the first time
Yeah.
I had seen that kind of screenplay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen screenplays,
Yeah.
but it was like, paper form, and then,
Yeah.
it was your story, which is now shifted
Yeah.
into a screenplay
Yeah.
form. What are the key differences that you noticed when you were working with me or with the Pakistani team? Although our team was Indian and Pakistani and
Yeah.
very mixed and match of
Yeah.
both countries.
Yeah.
When you talk about writing, or when you talk about how the process works, and we've worked with multiple projects
Yeah.
as well after that, what are the differences that you noticed?
I think very simply, I'll say, and I'm going to be very candid about this. I think, first of all, Yaara Vey, I don't think was for me an authentic Pakistani experience.
True.
I don't think it was, because there were a lot of Indians on the crew.
And it was mostly a Dubai experience
Yeah,
also.
it was a Dubai experience. Also, I personally felt that even in terms of the writing, I was limited. I think you'll agree
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
Right? So it became it was a bit of a
Challenge.
slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think bottom line difference, from what I'm seeing is, in terms of the writing, I don't think there's a formality or the bound script that exists in Pakistan as of now. From what I'm seeing, I could be terribly wrong. Is that everything is slightly still more fluid? still more...
You can experiment.
Not experiment, but still more, by
Flexible.
the skin of your seat of your pants, kind of like,
Okay, that way.
Like in Bombay, when the script is bound, as in when it's locked, 20 or 25 copies of that script will get printed out.
Right.
It'll get bound, spiral bound, and it'll go to the HOD of every single department.
Right.
After that, you can't touch a word.
Right.
You can't touch day to night as in the time of a scene. You can't touch one word because 20 departments are working off that bound script.
And in Pakistan, you have stories where people are writing scenes on the set.
I think that would be the primary. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's
As a
fun.
writer, yes.
It's fun because I just feel that I don't know, there's a disconnect also I feel when you work in Bollywood because everything's so clinical and it's professional. It's really,
because
really
it's a
professional.
huge established industry.
It's really professional.
Yeah.
This seems like let's
it's a mom and pop shop. Let's do it.
And passion project. That's what I find.
That's
like the
true.
one that we are trying to work on right now.
Right now, yeah.
It's for me, it's exciting and fun.
Yeah, but the pay scales are also vastly different.
Humongously.
Let's not be embarrassed and let's accept it because even for actors.
But your market is small.
Market is small. Like I was just, I had tweeted about it as well that Pakistan has less than 200 cinemas and India, and just Maharashtra alone has 5,000 or something. And then overall in India, there I checked and it was like around 10,000 cinemas.
Possible.
So if a producer has invested, let's say we were talking about Lapata Ladies and how much we loved it. And which was Lapata Ladies, by the way, guys, was a low budget film. So Lapata Ladies was made in 20-25 crores. In Pakistan, that's astronomical. And we're talking 20-25 Indian rupees. So if you convert it to Pakistan, it'll be even more. So a low budget film in terms of India versus a high budget film in Pakistan are not even close.
Exactly.
The disparity
and
is huge.
to be fair to the Pakistani market, is the point is when you don't have a return on investment, then why would you put that kind of money, right?
Exactly.
Which is why I'm saying it's a passion project.
For most people.
So when you are in the film industry in Pakistan, I think you're there because you really want to be there.
That's
for the joy of the craft and nothing else.
Yeah.
क्योंकि पैसा तो नहीं है.
Yes, to put it very mildly, पैसा नहीं है.
तो passion होना चाहिए.
Passion है.
And you can see it in your dramas.
Yes. But dramas, Althea, are far more, I would say, like you were talking about how in Bollywood there is a clinicality to it, if that's a word, and there is a bound frame of reference after which you cannot change.
Yeah.
That's what happens in our dramas because again, our dramas are a slightly more solid industry compared to films.
Yeah.
Films is like, you very rightly, somebody has money, they want to throw it away, try it out.
It's not about throwing it, it's about just let's have some fun with it and you never know.
Yeah, but also it's for investors. It's like, okay, I have this money to spare. That's when I will put it in a film.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, this is a great investment, this is a great idea. I have 20-30 crores, I'm going to put it in a film. Because I know I will get 50-60 crores back. That's not how it works. It's not how it works in Pakistan. Also, you've worked with a lot of celebrities in India. You've worked on a lot of, very closely, you're friends with a lot of celebrities in India. And then you're also friends with now celebrities in Pakistan. What are the differences you note there? I mean...
Oh, very simply. Like, can I talk about what we're working on right now? Not the project, but the people we're working with?
Okay, don't name anybody, but...
Okay, there's this one actor.
Yes, fine, perfect.
Okay, there's this one actor who Mahwash connected us with. And we're starting work on a project. My point is, so easy to approach. Same person in the same level. And he's pretty high up, I understand, in the hierarchy of actors in Pakistan. The same person in India, you will need about 7 or 8 levels to get to him. It's really hard. So I'll give you a simple thing. It's a very funny story. Anurag Kashyap, did what was that film he did shot in Sri Lanka? The one that bombed spectacularly. Bombay Velvet. When asked why that happened, he said they gave me money. Because he's jugaad. He works off the seat of his pants. He's watching a scene, he's course correcting as he goes. He's feeling instinctively. Now they gave him money.
And that's not what happens in Bollywood, right?
No. Now they gave him money, lots of money, and they gave him big star cast. Now to talk to Ranbir as a director, he still has 7 people to go through.
Yeah.
So that thing of banging on someone's door and saying, "Arey yaar, yehi karte kal."
Can't happen.
So his natural skill set took a beating on it.
And that's something you feel like, and our actors are generally more accessible,
Yeah,
more approachable.
very.
Yeah, very. And the lines that you have to cross are, because I remember when I watch these, I mean, I'm still a part of the industry in a way, but I've seen people who have come from no background even in the industry will have access.
That's what I find.
Yeah.
So it's so empowering. Now, don't you think?
It is definitely empowering, and I also feel it makes them a lot more human.
True.
It makes them a lot more real, and what
Yeah.
you see is what you get.
Exactly.
There's no facade there.
And I find it refreshing that they are actors and it's their job and that's it. They're not like super gods.
No.
So
no.
that's the issue we face back home, right?
Yeah, we don't do that.
Where we use words like, oh, he's so down to earth. And I said, like, what, are they levitating? Is this a race of people that are levitating? What do you mean by down to earth?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but then there is a hubris there in India.
hubris.
But then, again, it goes back to how big the industry
That
is.
is true.
The bigger you get, and like I was having a conversation with Anamika, you know Anamika, right?
Of course.
And with Anamika, she said that they have a lot more to lose. So the distance that they create or the walls they built are kind of understandable. Would you agree, or would you feel like it's a bit too much at times?
No, I agree. I agree very much. But I don't know about if it's a lot to lose. But I do agree that there's somewhere there's a sense of this is an expectation that I need my distance to show you. It's a really weird thing. Okay, my dad used to say this. I know I'm probably going to just get bombed for what I'm going to say, but I'll say it anyway. That if you want to get bigger, you need to get bigger. ये करने से it just looks bigger.
Oh.
You're at the same level. So if you actually get bigger, you get bigger. I find that with our guys back home on some level, on quite a large level, it is a perception of grandeur, which distance is a requirement for.
Yeah.
Because actually if you meet them one-on-one, great people.
Great people, yeah.
Great
I'm
people.
sure, yeah.
This is a persona I think they've been forced to adopt.
Because of the way the industry has been constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Althea, when you work, like, let's say again, the unnamed project that we are not talking about, let's talk about how you come up with ideas, or when we've discussed so much writing stuff between the two of us, and we were working on multiple projects. I mean, the pandemic really just kind of it's a painful thing to discuss, guys. But anyway,
It's painful for you because you had COVID 3 times.
yes, also that, yes. And my the career that I actually wanted, writing, took a massive hit. Thank you, pandemic. When you come up with an idea, and I remember this one idea that we're working on right now, when you came up with it, you just called me.
Yeah.
You were in the middle of some dinner party.
Dinner.
And I was not expecting your call because I think we had just met.
Correct.
Or
Possibly,
something,
yeah.
or like 2-3 hours ago, we had one of our long 2-3
Yeah.
hour London dairy conversations.
Yeah.
And then you said, Mahwash, I've had this idea, and I'm just like, and you just shoot it off or
Yeah.
parrot it off like maybe 30 pages of your
Yeah.
screenplay
Yeah.
or your
Yeah.
core story.
Yeah.
What happens when you come up with an idea?
Sometimes it could just be a line, a conversation. I have a film that I'm writing, which is from a line from a song, Mahwash. I'm listening to the lyrics of a song, and a line in that song went like, things start to
Ting.
click.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And you just start. And I have a tendency to dictate into my phone. So I just dictate nonsense. My phone is full of voice notes to myself.
Yeah.
And because you never know when you have an idea, it can come from anything. It can come from a conversation. It can come from you sitting. Okay, I'll give you. I wrote a piece about this once. We were in Sri Lanka on holiday. I was obviously under the closest shaded tree I could find, right? Because I'm not good with the sun. My kids were surfing. My husband was God knows where, but not around. Okay, I'm here alone under this little tree, quite happy with myself, enjoying myself. I got a book and all happy. Behind me, there was a family who had also found another tree. The man in this family, he just made a statement. He's talking to his wife, nothing to do with me, where he made a statement to the effect that, oh, those waves look really big. They look like they're 5 feet tall. The moment he made that statement, it came to my ears. I mean, obviously he was there. And my head instinctively just moved here and looking at the waves. Then I looked and then it started to analyze 5 feet tall. That's around my daughter, Gangaman's height, Maya's height. So that's about Maya's height. And from Maya, my thought went to looked for man in the water, found her catch a wave, found her fall, laughed and smiled, and just generally felt happy myself. That is the power of one overheard word.
Yeah.
Where it physically turned my head, got my attention focused on a particular thing, then got analytical and started to compare it to other things. From there, created other kind of things to pad it up. And before you know it, I had a whole kind of a thing, all from one word. Now imagine if that man had made a statement like saying, "Oh God, she's so fat." Same power, right? The word. Same power.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I saw an interview of Taylor Swift where she's saying that somebody had asked about how she comes up with songs. And she's like, again, something will just happen. We'll be sitting with friends and we'll be just talking and they'll be like, we'll be at a party or we'll be doing something and suddenly I'll start, singing something or writing. She's basically a songwriter.
Yes.
So she'll start writing things on her phone. And the same thing happens with me. Like I'm working on a book these days and kids are screaming, things are happening. I can't really sit and write. But what I will do is, what's going to happen in the next scene? Notes app. That's why Althea, you need to buy an iPhone also.
No, I have keep notes on my phone. Thank you very much.
We've had a row about Althea buying an iPhone. I'm trying to get her to convert to being an Apple user, which she refuses. What's up with that?
I'm old school. Yeah, I thought a podcast was audio.
We're there again. Okay, Althea, what are the kind of stories that you wished you could write? Like, I know you're bound by so many things, what gets approved, what doesn't.
Yeah.
But is there anything, and do you feel more, I know you want to write films and it comes easy to you. Now you are known as a film writer. Are there any kind of stories which you're like, I really want to tell this story, but I don't think there'll be any takers? Because this is something I face a lot in Pakistan.
No, you're talking about, do I want to do something other than film?
That too. And then, like, for example, let's say there's a story you really want to tell. Do you want to think about maybe writing a book? Or do you want to say that, no, I want that particular cast. This would look amazing on the screen.
No, I do actually have a story that I have currently, which I know is going to be a very hard sell. Because it's a strange film.
Okay.
So this is going to have to be done correctly. Maybe go to an actor first and get an actor excited before you go to a director. There are ways to operate it, but typically, no, I don't struggle with that at all.
Yeah.
I like crime. Crime is a big thing for me.
Yeah, and crime sells also easily.
And I love it.
Yeah.
So there's no like film that I wish that I could write, like Fault in Our Stars and all. These films don't work for me. They really don't. For me, I don't know.
What excites you about writing crime? I know that you've written a bunch of thrillers.
Yeah, but I love crime. I love the fact, because for me it's really it's at its very nub. It's a study of a human being.
It is.
And what they're showing you and what they really are
What they
is
really
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I just love, because everyone's a criminal. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Think of it. There could be you cannot say I wrote it in a thing once. It's like when somebody describing another person says, "Oh no," like I was describing, "Sir, not Mahwash, please. Mahwash would never kill a fly." And please, then she stands alone. I cannot imagine anybody who would not kill a fly.
Yeah, I've killed flies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as a statement saying, this person can never do that. No. Given the right circumstance, the right
anyone can be
motivator,
corrupted?
Anybody.
You have a dim view of humanity.
Huh?
You have a very dim view of humanity.
No, it's actually a good view. Yeah, we are not all white. We are all black and white.
Yeah,
and
but grey.
And we can go through everything. So,
yeah. Althea, again, coming back to Pakistan, because this is a question I want to ask you, because I asked this question and I also feel like it's benefit for the people who are watching. There's so many people who watch who are a part of the industry as well. What do you think we can improve? Like, how do you think cinema can improve in Pakistan as somebody who's not just an Indian, but also somebody who's a part of the Indian film industry? Because we know we need more cinemas for sure, so the return of investment is there. But what else could we improve in terms of...
I really think I should look at OTT platforms.
OTT.
Because cinemas is an investment, first and foremost, in the actual infrastructure. Secondly, you have to be able to get people to come in.
Yeah.
And with the situation in your country, which is constantly in a sense of flux, right?
Yes.
Constantly like not really being able to settle in.
Not
like,
stable, yeah.
Yeah, you get to a place where you're happy and then something else will go, So just like that kind of situation. It's hard. It's hard to get people to say that now I'm going to spend this kind of money and go and watch a film. It's hard. So, but if you keep them at home, then you have drama, which is why your drama is so powerful. But if you all aggressively look at creating a body of work and negotiating with some OTT platform or creating your own OTT platforms. I think that would be, I mean, the investment is lower, right?
Yeah, investment is not really. I think because if you want to establish an OTT, the actual investment for an original OTT is huge.
No, tell me something. You don't. I'm not talking about original. I'm talking about going to a Netflix or an Amazon and getting them to buy now from you all aggressively.
I think Momina Duraid is working on that with Jo Bache Hain
That
Sang
is
Samet Lo
what
with
should happen.
Myra Khan and Fawad and
That
Bilal
is
Ashraf
what
and Maya.
should happen.
Yeah, that is the first step. And then Humayun Saeed appearing in The Crown.
Yeah.
And Fawad and Mehwish doing Disney's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
They were big steps, but I haven't unfortunately seen anything move past that. And it's very baby steps that
it'll be nice if the powers that be, if you'll have powerful people in the world of media, if they got together and spoke to a Netflix or an Amazon or a Hotstar and lesson that.
I'll stop you right there. Got together. Khalas. Khatam ho gaya. Baat hi khatam.
Basically say that, we have so much of talent.
We do, yeah.
And we can create this kind of a thing. Buy it. That'll really
and
open.
there are eyeballs. Like I was looking at Bridgerton statistics, and they said that they were like raving how big Bridgerton is. Like it's gotten 28 million views. I'm like, that's like one OST in Pakistan. Like one original soundtrack in a Pakistani drama gets 28-30 million on YouTube. And again, because we also have Indian audiences.
Yes.
The same way Bollywood has Pakistani audiences.
Yes.
So that's a huge pull. But I hope that. See, another problem with Pakistan is that when we have these big guys that you talk about, they're all so severely invested in their own projects. Momina Duraid is probably the only person who has taken that leap, and it has taken her years for Netflix to actually pay attention to her. I think now maybe after Jo Bache Hain Sang Samet Lo, which is a novel which has been turned into a mini-series starring all the big guys from Pakistan, I hope that can make that difference. Because I agree with you. I think OTT may be a better
lower
avenue.
investment, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go to a Netflix and say, we want to give you the stuff, now find out which Netflix will buy it. And that's that. I mean, when I say Netflix, I mean which office. Will the India office do it? Then go for it.
Yeah. Hope so. Althea, coming back to writing, when you write a story and when you're stuck with characters and I know that when you, again, this unnamed project, because this project is very close to us because we're working on it right now. When we're stuck and when working with a co-writer, you've always written alone. And now I think your only experience as a co-writer is with me? Okay. I like the disdain in voice. It's you. It's you, babe. You are the villain in my story. When you work with a co-writer, how does that change? And how much of control do you still want to have of your writers? Because obviously the other co-writer will have their own ideas. And I
I think we have a great equation that way.
That's true.
Because we discuss stuff and then we will, the thing will be to keep us within the realm of reality. But so far I've had no problem. And also Mehwish works fast.
Yeah.
And I work really fast.
Yeah.
So in terms of timing and pace.
Yeah, timing and pace. Also, I think her brains also work at the same pace.
And now she's moved to Final Draft as well.
Yes.
The same writing software. So life is simpler, right?
Life is much
Because on Yaara Vey, it was on a Word document. It was all in Urdu. I didn't know what was going on.
Word document. Then it got printed. Then for the first time, I saw it was like this thick docket.
Yeah.
And I was like, acha, okay, now what? And we had to convert it back into a different
So now that
format.
way it makes life easier.
Yeah. But again, like for me, I think working with you has been such a pleasure because again, Althea and I will have our first half an hour chat sessions in which we will talk about everything under the sun. Okay. And then we'll get down to writing because that really gets the gears going.
Yeah.
But Althea, do you feel like writing on its own on in general is not a collaborative process? I know it's fun for us.
Yeah. But I think you're right about that because it truly at its essence is not because it's a vision.
Yeah, it's a lonely thing. Yeah.
It's a vision and it's what you're seeing. So when you write with a collaborator, it's important that, I mean, you put yourself in a position where you now have to translate that vision verbally.
Yes.
You have to make sure the other person is still seeing exactly what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Then y'all can actually co-write. But actually, if you think about it, I think with Mehwish and me, we discuss. But we have very clear ideas. Like I will start doing screenplay. She'll start jumping in with dialogue, which I can't do. And it's all Urdu, so it's all a big mess for me. And then she'll obviously make changes in the screenplay with her dialogue. So it works. We're not ये नहीं है कि I'm writing one scene and she's writing another scene. ये नहीं है.
Yeah. Also, I think what works with us is that we're good friends.
Yes.
I think if you're not friends
And
with
there's respect.
there's respect. And then
Yeah.
I respect Althea immensely because of the
Yeah.
experience she has. And she will tell me, Mahwash, no, this is not going to work. And I'll be like, oh, really, why? And she'll tell me. She's
Yeah.
like, Mahwash, because, you
Yeah.
know, eventually you want this.
Yeah,
Or this
and
is
vice
what we-
versa. Like I come up with something, she said it won't work.
Yeah.
And I'll say, why? And she said, no, because in Pakistan, these are the rules.
Yeah.
This is what you can't,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So it
stuff
works.
like that as well. Yeah. And also, she's very respectful of my ideas.
Yes.
And I'd be like, Althea, wouldn't it be amazing if we do that? She's like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
put it in. So I think I think what we've experienced, Althea, is a great experience to share with writers who I think would be better if they collaborated.
If you just talk in a way,
Yeah.
the life your own film will get if you start discussing your film.
Discussing, yes. And
It
Althea,
will get a
I
life.
think neither of us have hubris about it.
No.
We're not egotistical about, oh, mera idea aisa tha.
Nahin.
You know, because I think like sometimes when I'm watching something, especially in Pakistan, and I know because it doesn't, I mean, obviously it may also happen in Bollywood, but what happens in Bollywood is that again, you have layers at which it gets checked. If it gets changed, then it comes back to the writer, and then the writer has to make those changes. In Pakistan, sometimes the writer is too powerful. And it's also counterproductive. While it can be great for the creative ones, like for example, Khalilur Rahman Qamar, who's one of our premier film and screenwriters, he will not let anyone change alif to be to A to B, anything. So for him, things don't change there. But I wish sometimes that he would listen.
I'll tell you my logic with this is very simple. I'm writing. It's a written word. What I'm writing, however, requires work for it to have an audience.
Right.
Otherwise, just on paper, and it's not even a novel.
Exactly.
Okay. For this translation to happen from paper to a screen, there are loads of people in the middle.
Right.
So you can't be kowtowing to everyone's opinion, but at least the directors. So what I tend to do then is sit with the director, because my only focus at that point is to make the film his or hers. Because he or she is the one carrying it now. So if he or she doesn't feel it, then it's not going to work.
Or something doesn't translate to that
person. And if
person.
that director says, Althea, this scene doesn't work for me, but how about we do it like this? I'll be like, great. Tell me what you're thinking, because it's still collaborative until you bind that script. Once the script is bound, then it's gone.
Yeah. So, Althea, when we write you've written for TV, you've written for OTT, and you've written for film. Again, I know it's a very specific Bollywood experience, but tell me in 2024, and you've been writing for a while.
Yeah.
So there are two sides to my question. One is, how are these now mediums different? Because a lot of them are same now. And then how has writing changed in all of these so many years that you've worked? And I mean, again, must be 10, 15 plus years since you've been working. So how has writing changed now that when you pick up an idea and then you work on it and you're like, okay, now this is, it's for OTT. I need to look at it differently. Does that come into your head?
Yeah. Simple things. Pace on both have increased.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, TikTok.
Yeah. Nobody has a headspace to have these long one flower wala pensive moment. No. Get on with it. You'll find in OTTs a lot, you're getting on with it so fast that you enter and exit a scene midway. You don't even have scenes where someone is walking into a room.
Yeah.
It's cut to. Mahwash and me are talking, I'll be like, really? I mean, iPhone, no, cut to. Althea's in the iPhone shop.
Yeah.
Pick up the iPhone. You've taken all the crap out in the middle. Right? So it gets much faster. I think it's also there used to be a sense of freedom on OTT where you could tell the story the way you wanted to tell the story.
Yeah.
But because of the lack of censorship. But I think on some level people, God, I'm just going to kill myself with this. Yeah. They found the lack of censorship meant that now let's do everything that we're not allowed.
Yeah.
And I found that maybe it just got forced. It forced it into a situation where now we are currently in a situation where there is censorship coming in. I don't agree with the censorship coming in, but I think that, it's that chutti mil gaya kind of thing, and then you've gone and you've screwed up yourself.
Rogue. Yeah.
So I would like the content to get deeper, darker, more exploratory, more psychological, as opposed to more sex driven, more drugs driven. No, it's not necessary. If it's integral to the story, for sure, but if it's not, There are other ways to show a happy marriage.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that OTT has sort of taken that as a challenge and said, oh, what is that we can't show on TV or on films? Let's show it here. Yeah, I agree with you.
And now everyone is potty mouthed.
Yeah, for no reason.
No reason.
There is less dialogue and more abuse.
Yeah. Why,
yeah,
Baba?
There's no need. A lot of times there's no need. When you see it, it's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like Indian platforms have really, like you said, gone rogue with some of that stuff.
Not all,
like,
not everybody, but
not all. I mean, there's some amazing stuff there.
Yeah.
But like, for example, I felt Sacred Games in that category where I felt like, oh, it's a great story, it's a great premise, but why are they showing this? Why can't he talk? Why can't he have one normal sentence?
But to give Sacred Games its due and Mirzapur its due, you're in a milieu where this is normal language. You are in a milieu where it is normal.
No, but I have to compare it with Omkara. Now, if you watch Omkara...
But Omkara is severely limited by the lack of censorship, right?
It is, but Omkara was still a story well told. I think that what happens with this when you want to show...
It's an easier way also to do it.
Yeah, that's
so much easier. 2-3 bad words and you've established someone's character in 1 second.
Yeah.
As opposed to showing it.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a shortcut.
Yeah, but I'm not... Again, it's not that profanity doesn't exist, therefore you cannot show it. But it's just that there are certain ways to maybe show it better than...
I just think that if it's a requirement, go for it. But don't unnecessarily punctuate it in any given situation.
Yeah, obviously. Zabardasti. No, don't do that. Okay. And then do you feel like storytelling has changed from then to now in terms of what the different mediums are? You're saying the pace has now increased.
Yeah.
But is there anything else like in terms of character development, in terms of what kind of stories we're telling? Does everybody...
Yes, of course. And also very reflective of the world we live in today. There's a currency about it. And characters have distinct arcs where there's actually an arc. It's not boy meets girl and then boy is poor. Girl is rich. Or boy is poor and daddy is police officer who died. And guess who killed him? Girl is fair. So there are no tropes as such. So you're exploring stuff which is not the predictable.
The formula is no formula, kind of.
So it's nice.
It's nice, definitely.
Makes for riveting viewing now when you don't know what's going to happen.
You know? For sure. When you're developing a script, like again talking about the one we're working on, we're
starting to make it look like a magnum opus, by the way.
It is not.
It that shall not be named.
It that shall not be named. No. But Althea, when we change things I'm talking about the process now. Like there'll be one phone call again from you that Mahwash, I have this idea and now we need to, what if?
Yeah, what if?
What if we do this? How does that come to you? And then when it comes to you, does it feel like, oh, now I have this idea? Because for me, it's a struggle. Like when I'm writing this novel that I'm writing, I have written the first 30, 40 pages, whatever. And now I'll suddenly come up with an idea that, oh, I should add that. But then it has thrown everything else for a loop.
And let it throw it. Which until it's printed, now let it throw. Never change in the same document. That much I can tell you. Always next draft.
Next draft. Yeah.
Maintain the draft you have.
Yeah.
Cut paste a new document and then
see where that takes you.
Another thing I do, which is if any writers watching, this is a trick that I developed myself, but it works like malai. Your first focus in life is to type the words "the end." That is your only focus. Tu bol bachan band kiya kar. Just start writing. Write whatever's coming out of your head. Okay.
Yeah.
Type the word "the end." Okay, so now you actually have a draft. Then you take that draft and take it to a printer or whatever, and you get it printed. A4 size paper pe. Only on one side. One side ka printing. Get it spiral bound. And all pages have to be numbered. And then sit there with a pen. And you read it yourself. And whenever you're making a change in the page, you circle the page number. And on the left-hand side, because the left-hand side is blank, right? You draw lines and rewrite this, draw, cut, paste. And then you take this document which you have done a mess of and make your second draft. I cannot tell you how well it'll work.
Do you believe that I do this?
Yeah. It works like magic.
Yeah, I don't think we give
as opposed to scrolling up and down, up and down. No.
And it doesn't make you old school. Like I'm not old school at all. At least I don't think I'm not. But I am less old school than you, by the way.
Yeah, much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I still do it.
Yeah. No, it's a bird's eye view. We are seeing it.
Yeah.
There's an ability to see it from the top than from here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I'll give you a simple thing. I'm very bad with names.
Okay.
Really bad.
Forget
My
everybody.
character names will change within the script so many times. Why? Because I can't be bothered to scroll up to see what I called him. In Happy New Year, Shah Rukh's character was called Charlie. That wasn't his name. It was called Charlie because I forgot his name. I forgot what we had called him. And I just started thinking, when I'm writing, I can't be wasting time scrolling up to see where he was mentioned earlier. So I have a habit of when I don't know a person's name, I refer to the person as Charlie. I'll say, Charlie said this.
Charlie said this.
That way. And I called him Charlie and that stuck. But it was not what he was called. I still can't remember. If I look at the first draft, I can possibly tell you what his name actually was.
Althea, what are you working on now? What are your upcoming projects? And
I'm working on a film, a courtroom drama. Very excited. I am working on a series about a marriage that went horribly wrong separately. And I'm working on something with you.
Yes.
And I have another project, the one I'm saying that I'm going to have to really figure out how to make it one. It's been in my computer in various forms for about 6 years. And I love
it's
it.
one of those projects.
It's one of those projects, if I make it, I'll quit working. I'll stop.
That's intense.
Because I feel like I have achieved what I could possibly achieve. इससे बड़ा तो नहीं होगा.
Oh my God. Althea, how difficult is it for writers now? Like you mentioned how easy it was to pitch to Excel at the time. What do you want to say to people who are watching now and want to write and who want to create stories? I know that you're Indian, so you'll obviously talk in reference of Bollywood, but a lot of Indian audiences are also watching this.
Yeah.
So what would you say to them? And what would you say to even Pakistani audiences based on your experience?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is excruciatingly hard. What I would recommend really strongly, that's what I would do. If I were you, I would write these stories. I would create what we call a Bible for myself. Write for yourself first. If you love it, somebody else will love it. Write what we call a Bible, which is basically putting together the whole idea of the whole film. And I would just hit down people's doors. I would go into offices. I would ask questions. I would find what needs. I would try very hard to be able to get a pitch meeting. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, just to be able to give you a 5-line pitch and just take it from there. Alternatively, I would go and talk to directors and I would talk to actors. In Pakistan, like you said, they are far more approachable.
Yes, they are.
I would do that because if you get a director excited about a project, he will go ahead with it. You get an actor excited about a project, he'll get a director on board and it becomes viable. But don't stop. But also when you're going to approach these guys, make sure you've got kuch dhang ka hoga. Important.
But do you think it's important for writers to talk to other writers? And why I'm asking that at the beginning stage. Sometimes when even I'm writing, and it's not like I'm some huge writer, but even when I'm writing, I'm like, oh God, this is horrible. Who will read this? This is terrible. Do you go through that?
Yeah.
Oh. So it's a common
Imposter
experience.
syndrome.
Oh, imposter syndrome, like anything.
I've sat in so many meetings looking at all these big people, by the way, listening to me and just wondering, judging them fully. Like, how stupid are you? You're listening to me. But I know nothing.
But that's why I think you and I worked, because I never felt stupid with you. I was like, I can throw anything stupid at her.
Yeah.
I can throw anything stupid at her, and she...
From stupidity only you will get something. Something words have increasing power.
Yeah.
Crazy power.
Yeah. But Althea, again, it's why I'm talking about this point is particular is because it's a paradox. Writing is lonely. It's a singular mission. It's like you said, and that's why, a friend of mine calls it, that's why it's called a novel, because it's unique. It's you. But then I also feel like because of the hubris that writers also carry, they'll come up with absolute terrible nonsense and they think it'll be amazing. And then they'll resent that people didn't like it. And there are two sides to it. One is terrible scripts making their way to the screen. Do you ever look, because that's something I go through. I look at something and I'm like, oh my God, who decided to make this? Who thought this was a good idea? I know what she's thinking. You cannot name it.
No.
Do not name it.
No.
And then there are scripts which are amazing and they never see the light of day. Do you ever feel resentful when you look at something like that?
First of all, I don't agree that writing is lonely.
Okay.
You're living in a crazy world.
That's true, yeah.
That you're the king of. There's hubris. This is it, babe. You are making everybody sing and dance. These characters live in your head. When you're writing, you'll agree. If you're in the middle of it, somebody calls you to a party, you're uninterested. Someone
Yes.
says, just don't talk to me.
Yes, this is my
literally
zone.
don't, just leave me. And people say, but you're doing nothing. No, boss, my head is working.
Yeah.
I just want to be left alone until I type the word the end. Say to that word the end is very, very important. Because until then, you're not a writer. You're just faffing. You're just faffing. You can only be taken seriously when you type those 2 words in. That's the only 2 words that matter on anything you write is those 2 words. Anyway, the point is it's not lonely. You're living in a fantasy world. But that world is heavily populated.
Yeah.
And it's populated by people that you put in there.
Yeah.
So when you have that situation, how can you possibly tell me now that my script is not worth it? I made it. I made it. I believed in these characters. I made them do what they're doing. Sing, dance, die. But I made it happen. And now you're telling me it's crap. The thing is, I'm in the middle of this, right? Conducting this orchestra. The fact that all the instruments out of tune, I can't hear them. I can't hear them. Yeah, but it's not lonely. In fact, it's overcrowded a little bit.
So you're talking in defense of the person who comes up with a terrible script.
Writing is a very challenging job. It's a blank page.
Yeah.
You try it. Try putting down something on a blank sheet of paper.
Yeah.
And then going on to do at least 90 or 100 of them.
Oh, God.
That's how long a script is.
Oh,
Film
God.
script. You try and tell me the challenge it is, but nobody else can say what the next word is outside of you. It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
So to be appreciated, good, bad, or ugly, it came from someone's head and someone's work.
Yeah, but
be
there's
crap.
still terrible films out there.
But that's true of everything. And haven't you ever used a battery that was crap?
Yeah, of course.
Somebody made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't stop you from saying, what a crap battery. Right. Like
Yeah, but there are also great batteries out there.
there
is
are
what-
also great batteries.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, no, I get that. Althea, when you work, when you want to see, and when you've worked with actors in Pakistan, are there, and whatever you've seen from Pakistan's actors and actresses, are there any particular actors that you want to work with that you'd say, okay, or what are the characters that you think that they'd be
Oh,
amazing?
now I can take names.
No, you cannot. Okay, but in general, I'm saying.
There are quite a few actually. I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm really fascinated by your load of people that you have.
Yeah, the talent that we have, which goes extremely unnoticed. But yeah.
It's
But I think
like
India is really into
It
it.
is noticed.
Yeah,
it
but-
is noticed. The
For
issues
sure.
are they're not getting a larger platform.
Yeah, I think that because a lot of our dramas are getting very much noticed by Indian.
Which is why I'm saying they need to, Pakistani production houses need to come together, create a united front and talk to a Netflix or Amazon or Hotstar. Because if they're going to pitch themselves against India, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If they're looking at India as being the mecca for this, not going to
No,
happen.
not at all. Yeah.
You need to work independent of India.
Yeah, and also there's a global diaspora out there.
Yes.
Let's not just look at India. Let's look at the
Yeah.
Indians, let's say in America or the UK or the
And
Dubai.
Indians all over will watch your programming.
Of course,
Happily.
happily. And then there's also the same way. Like I remember when Shah Rukh did Dilwale. What was that very terrible film with Kajol and
Dilwale.
Dilwale? The Varun Dhawan film.
Yeah.
He promoted it in Pakistan. He promoted it in the USA.
Yeah.
He promoted it everywhere he possibly
Yeah.
could. And then because they all know that Pakistan is a very big territory for them, and Pakistan is.
But Pakistan as content creators is a big content creator for Indians.
Yeah, true.
We
Indeed.
actually love the programming. If we got to see it without any of this red tapeism in the middle, we'd celebrate and applaud it. The unfortunate thing is we can't technically work together for various other reasons. But fantastic if you guys could actually put more work out there.
But I think collaborations are happening. I mean, Fawad Khan is working.
Great.
He did Barzakh. Barzakh is old, but he's working currently now on some web series, and there are other. And I think UAE is such a great place for those collaborations to happen. And I often feel like UAE is a lot like India and Pakistan. What if India and Pakistan didn't have a border?
Yeah,
That's what it would be like.
The first Pakistani I ever met in my life was in Dubai. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, of course.
Never
that makes
even
sense.
met one.
That makes sense.
And then found like twins. Like, what is this? Where's the difference?
Yeah, and I also know your fascination for Pakistani Nimco.
And Murray.
Murray?
Yeah.
Murray.
Murray, right?
The place?
Yeah.
Murray.
Yeah.
But why Murray?
I read it in a childhood storybook where there was a school in Murray.
Oh.
And for me, that is just, it's been a fantasy in my head for years. If I had to go to Pakistan, if I really could, one day you have to invite me and we do it properly.
Any day, anytime, yes.
Apparently you need an invitation.
I'm ready to give
I have
you
a
an
wrong
invitation.
color passport, right? Right. And I want to go to Murray.
You want to go to Murray? You'll hate it.
Why?
I'm sorry. Ka-ching! Spoiling the...
For me, it's just the mountains. It's like, it's just, I don't know. I've got a image of Murray in my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because, okay, so Murray, this is what we used to go through when we were kids. Like, Murray, oh, let's go to Murray. Because I'm from Karachi, right? So for Karachi, where the sea, and if you look at Pakistan's map like this, I am here and Murray is somewhere here.
Yeah.
So traveling to Murray, adventure.
Big deal, yeah.
Big deal. But Murray is intensely dirty, crowded. And
Is it?
It's horrible. But what you think of Murray is now other
Swat?
places also. No, yes, Swat. Swat Valley is there. Hunza. People,
Okay.
everybody, Fawad Khan's Barzakh was shot in Hunza.
Okay, so we have to go one of those places.
Yeah, okay. If we survive the roads, yes.
My thing of Murray.
Murray, yeah. There's a lot of other, they've opened little resorts on these hill stations.
That's what I want. I have this image of me going to the grass.
No, but it's interesting because I've always wanted to go to my parents' actual lands where they're from in Allahabad.
In Allahabad.
Yeah, in Balia. I've always wanted to go there. My parents went back in the 80s, but you know.
But if that's a good question to ask. If you had to go and visit 3 places in India,
Yeah.
where would you go? From what you know of India.
Yeah, Agra.
Agra.
Definitely.
For
Taj
what?
Mahal.
For
For
that?
the architecture and everything.
I'll give you that
Definitely
story.
Allahabad because that's where
Okay,
my...
that's
and
your
then I
roots.
also... Two more places. Give me 2 more places.
good.
I'll go to Goa.
Okay.
But I know... explain why you made that
I
face.
will make for Agra and Goa both I made faces.
Okay. But I also want to go to that one place. Is it Nainital or is it Missouri? Where Kapoor and Sons was shot.
Yeah, that whole northeastern bit.
Northeastern place. It's
Unbelievable.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
They don't consider themselves Indians. I'm not joking. If you go to the northeast, they will ask you, have you come from India? Have I come from India means what? I am still in India.
I am in India. What do you mean?
No, we are in India. What do you mean by have I come from? Haven't left.
Okay, but what's it like? Have you been there? What are those
Yeah.
places like?
Just stunning. It's the foothills of. I mean, it's the environs of the Himalayas.
No, oh my
It's
god.
meadows. It's deodar forest. It's stunning, and people with rosy cheeks and happy, smiley faces.
Aye.
Water is ice cold and sweet,
Yeah, it's
and
what
there's
our
joy.
north is
And
like.
they are far northeast. They're actually in Burma, but they're India, right? So they're Indian Standard Time, which understand it goes through the center of India.
Yeah.
So geographically speaking, they're in Burmese Standard Time. So the sun rises at weird hours and sets at weird hours.
Yeah.
Really,
But why did you make that face about Goa and Agra?
tourist traps,
Tourist traps.
big ones.
You will take me there.
Yeah. Not you don't have to go Agra. Agra was a shock even for me.
Really? Why?
Horrible. Horrible.
No, you must have gone as a Dubai.
No, babe.
Chick.
No.
No, what?
Went to Agra. I've never seen the Taj. Want to see the Taj? Not the Taj
You
Mahal.
went to Agra and you didn't see the Taj Mahal.
To see the Taj Mahal.
And then did you?
Saw the Taj Mahal. Absolutely jaw-dropping.
Okay.
To me, it looked like an apology. It did not look like a monument to love.
Yeah.
It looked like a mea culpa. I am so sorry.
Here's a beautiful
Yeah,
building.
I will build you something to apologize. I swear to God, it looked like a gigantic apology to me. A man who was genuinely sorry for what he had done. But the whole thing was impressive. Again, Mughal architecture, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing is so stunning, but it's actually only around a small room where the grave is.
Yeah.
And both their graves are there.
Yeah.
So he's actually not dead center. She's dead center. He's off, right? And you can walk around that.
Right.
You will also die because it's like a morcha. Once you come out, their bathrooms are non-existent.
Oh.
There are touts. I don't know. It's not
It's a
pleasant
tourist
experience.
trap. It's a tourist trap. Okay. And what about Goa? Same.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah, go to Kerala.
I will definitely. Kerala is beautiful. I've seen. But what about those Delhi? What about that kind of place where because I want to see Balli Maran, the place where Ghalib was. Used to roam the streets writing
In
poetry.
Delhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Delhi's lovely.
Delhi's
I mean, as
lovely.
a tourist, there's lots to do.
Tourist. Yeah, obviously. But where are you from?
Bombay.
Bombay. Karachi.
No point going. Exactly.
Karachi.
Dirty.
Sisters. Dirty.
The film industry.
Film industry.
The commercial capital.
Media and commercial
Yeah,
capital.
capital.
Yes.
And he's showing you a clock.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it means we're about to end the conversation.
And best street food.
Best street food.
Best street food. You can't get better street food than Bombay and Karachi, I think.
Yeah, Karachi. I think
Like
in
cheap-
Pakistan we have this.
cheap and best.
We have this thing that Lahore's food is the best, but I've been to
We have
Lahore and
a place in Bombay. It's called Sasta and Tikau.
Sasta and Karachi. It's the cheapest place I think one of the cheapest place in the world index where you can. But here's hoping that Althea comes to Karachi.
I want to come.
And Murray.
Yeah.
Murray. Althea wants to go to Murray. I'll take you to Aptabad.
I'm really old school, babe.
Very. Aptabad and Hunza are the new places. babe.
Aptabad?
Aptabad.
Really?
Yeah, why?
How interesting. There's one place I definitely want to visit. Tiny little gated community.
On that very non-political note,
Really?
I hope one day.
Walled.
I hope one day I can go to Delhi. She'll take me to Agra because I don't want to fall into a death tourist trap.
Yeah.
And Goa also.
Let's not do Goa. Let's do Kerala.
Okay, we'll do Kerala. Definitely. One day, inshallah. Here's hoping for peace for both countries so that more artists collaborate.
I agree.
Althea, thank you so much.
Agree.
Thank
It
you
was
for your
fun,
time.
I have to say. It
Yeah,
really
thank
was
you
fun.
for being here under duress.
Under duress.
And under false pretense.
Under false pretense.
Under false pretense. It's always a joy to work with Althea. I hope you guys catch on whatever she's doing next and the unnamed secret magnum opus that we
Oh, it's a Pakistani one, by the way.
Yes, it's a Pakistani feature.
With a really nice Pakistani actor.
With a very nice story, I must say,
Yeah.
and very, very excited about this. Thank you so much once again, Althea. Thank you guys for
Anytime.
watching. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Khudafis. Don't miss an update. Hit the bell icon and click on subscribe.